Good morning and welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, June 8th. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps this morning. We're trading higher. We're up 0.76% this morning. You know, it's really being supported by strong gains in the tech sector. I mean, the fact of the matter is we had a broad sell-off on Friday, but the AI spend remains in place. So that recent weakness really appears to be more portfolio rebalancing or profit-taking rather than, a deterioration in the background of the fundamentals. So I'm positive on tech and what's going on in that sector this morning. Meanwhile, we got oil prices, which did surge this morning, but they pulled back a little bit. Markets are reacting to the latest tensions in the Middle East. Geopolitical concerns are all over the place. As Iran launched at least 4 waves of missiles towards Israel, Israel responded by hitting a refinery. President Trump is out there calling for both countries to return to the negotiation table because he really wants a diplomatic solution as soon as he can in this situation. On the economic calendar, the attention this week is going to be on the CPI and the PPI reports that are due for release Wednesday and Thursday. But today is light. In corporate news, the big one today, Apple's WWDC conference. That gets underway today. That's the big event that markets are going to be paying attention to. And you look at the shares of Apple, and they are trading higher this morning. President Trump indicated that the White House could potentially meet this week with a bunch of executives from the major AI firms. This will cause another level of round of funding, perhaps in the major AI companies. Keep an eye on this. Marvel, MRVL, they're going to join the S&P 500 on June 22nd. That's a big one. Looking ahead, tomorrow starts the Goldman Sachs Global Healthcare Conference. That's one of the biggest conferences for the healthcare sector. On the corporate calendar today, we got shareholders meetings from Reddit, CoreWeave, Warburg Parker. On the earnings front, we got Campbell Foods, that's ticker CPB. That stock is trading higher after earnings. But after the bell, you got MTN, Vail Mountain Resorts. And then tomorrow morning, you got United Foods International, UNFI. You got J&M Smuckers, SJM, and SailPoint, SAIL. Turning our attention to the global markets for a second, we're looking at Europe. And, the DAX is down 90 points or 0.37%. It was down like 1 percentage point early this morning, but has since come back. I mean, there is concern that the Middle East, events could, stoke inflation concerns. There is concern about the rate hikes after Friday's non-farm payrolls report. But with tech trading higher, you start seeing those the big losses dissipate, and now we're only down, less than 0.4%. The FTSE in London is actually trading higher. It's up 12 points, 0.12%. Some weakness in consumer-focused stocks, but that's being offset by gains in energy stocks. The CAC in Paris is down 0.18%. Declines in luxury goods is weakening that index. Turning our attention over to Japan, and that market just took a hit on overnight. I mean, it was down 2,500 points or 3.85%. Which was the third consecutive losing session. Sentiment was negative on tech stocks. Hong Kong finished lower by 1.22% with weakness in financials and tech, and China finished lower by 1.7%. Tech stocks led that market decline. And then we're looking at oil this morning, and oil is still trading higher. I mean, it's up, about 1% right now. WTI is at $91.42, where Brent is at $94.25. What can I say? It was up over 4%, 4.5% earlier this morning. But now we're looking at oil, and it is still higher, but due to the strikes that occurred, but it's not as bad as it once was. So that's kind of a positive for oil prices, and that's what's helping equities as well. Okay, turning our attention over to earnings, and we got to talk about Campbell Soup, CPB. They beat by 2 cents on higher revenue. Stocks up 2.63% this morning. Upcoming, we got SailPoint, ticker SAIL. Their EPS is 4 cents. Expected move is 17.11%. You got SJM, Smuckers. Their EPS is $2.65 with an expected move of 6.47% when they release tomorrow morning. In terms of the economic calendar, it's relatively light today. Activity is going to progress later in the week with the PPI and CPI reports that are coming out. In terms of stocks hitting, making noise this morning, we've got to talk about Apple. I mean, they got that Worldwide Developers Conference. Tim Cook is speaking at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. They're expected to unveil new AI features at the conference. We got Amazon investing about $10 billion in European operations, expected to add 25,000 jobs. And Meta, Best Buy is giving Meta, its own aisle, its own space in their stores this summer. They're going to really push Meta's full product lineup of AI glasses, VR headsets, giving demonstrations and displays, even of the smart mirror that they have. So that's positive. Netflix, Disney really had another good weekend on the movie front. SpaceX, that IPO, is kind of considered too big to succeed. You got to be careful about that. In terms of Dow Jones 30 stocks, NVIDIA CEOs in Seoul, South Korea announcing a partnership, for the next generation of AI memory. Honeywell spinning off their aerospace division, and management is planning a 1-for-2 reverse stock split. Keep an eye on that. Microsoft, Amazon executives are going to be speaking at London Tech Week later today. What else? We got guidance news. Campbell Foods reaffirms 2026 adjusted EPS view, 2015 to 2025. Street estimates $2.17. That's a positive. Honeywell backs their full year 2026 EPS view, $10.35 to $10.65. Street estimates $10.52. Interesting. It's an interesting play going on there. Corporate calendar, Reddit, CoreWeave, Warburg Parker, WRBY, they're all having shareholders meetings today. In terms of catalyst calls, PH, Parker Hannifin, Citibank opened up a 90-day upside catalyst watch on the stock. They also did PVH Corp, ticker PVH. They opened up a 90-day catalyst watch on PVH Corp this morning. Okay, let's move on to our stock of the day. And, I'm going to go with Pfizer today, ticker PFE. Here's the results. I mean, the FDA, approved an expansion indications for their hemophilia drug. That's positive. But the real catalyst is tomorrow morning when CEOs are going to be speaking, when, executives from Pfizer are going to be speaking at that Goldman Sachs healthcare conference. So I'm positive on that. And you look at you look at Friday's call volume, was it 398,000 calls versus 46,000 puts. I mean, that's very positive. That's a 0.48% put-call ratio. Open interest 1.4 million to 1.2 million, again positive. And the major brokers are raising price targets on it. I like to see that. But for me, I want to get in under 26. I'm going to say, 25.90-ish area. If it hits that area, that's when it gets really opportunistic for me. So Pfizer's my pick of the day, ticker PFE. I'm expecting it to run tomorrow. Okay, let's talk about the stocks that are hitting the press this morning with key news stories in the last 15, 20 minutes or so. Let's see what we see. Roku being added to the S&P 500 June 22. Tyson Food, TSN, their chief operating officer is going to retire. Johnson & Johnson to acquire Firefly Bio for $1 billion in cash. NFL announced agreement to bring football to Fox platforms in Mexico, FOXA. Campbell Soup delivers $20 million in cost savings in Q3. Nice. Pfizer plans to advance 10 phase 3 studies for its weight loss management pill. Pepsi-Cola has 41 autonomous truck operating in Arizona, Texas, and Arkansas. Interesting. Meta to take legal action against Israeli spyware firm, NSO. NVIDIA does a deal with South Korean SK Group, advances the AI boom. Boeing's going to increase production of its best-selling 737 MAX from 42 to 47 jets a month. Nice. Yeah, that's all I'm seeing really this morning. Let's talk about Friday's pick of the day, which was Guidewire, GWRE, Grace William, Richard Edward. I mean, listen, the earnings came out Thursday night, and the stock was just getting smoked. And I just felt the report wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. And you look at the stock, it opened up at 131.13. Now I said the 131 area, so that's right in there. Next thing you know, it started to rally. It actually ran all the way up to 146.80 on Friday before closing at 136.07. Nice winner. I mean, GWRE really did a nice bounce back after, the weakness after the earnings report. I mean, it just turned higher. And, yeah, it had a good day. GWRE was a winner. All right, traders, that concludes today's Trade Talk podcast. You guys know what to do. Let's go out there and let's make some green.